As you can see here, lovely case here, lovely looking case. It looks like something that Darth Vader from Star Wars will have. It has a number of bays here, with two of these bays at the bottom here are hot swappable. That means you just pull it out like a tray, put your drive in, hard drive or SSD, push it back in, it connects to the circuit board inside, and you've got a connection without any messing about, without opening up the side of the case. You have a lovely 200mm red LED that again looks like something a Sith Lord would have. You have USB 3, USB 2, FireWire. Though these days I don't see why you should have FireWire, because hardly anybody uses it. Only people who are doing intensive video work tend to use FireWire. But never mind, it's still there. You have eSATA and you have USB 3. As you see, you've got a window here. If we turn the actual box around, we can see more features. There we go. If you can see all that. Another view at the front here. We have a nice little slide switch so you don't accidentally press the power on and off button during your intensive gameplay, but I don't see why you should have that. I see that as a bit gimmicky, but we'll carry on. We have toolless 5 1/4 inch bays there, and do you remember these are the two for the docking bays. We have a brilliant wire management here, and you'll be surprised the amount of cases these days don't include a decent wire management system. And CoolerMaster, it looks like they've gone all out here. And you have your HDD bays, internal HDD bays here. You just flip this lever open and pull it out like a caddy, which is rather nice. And you have the air ducts for airflow for the graphics cards here, and a great big massive holder. Personally, I see this as rather gimmicky, because the side panel has a great big massive 200mm fan anyway, just to keep it cool anyway, airflow. And we have a back fan here as well, and tubing for water cooling, routing holes there. We have the 8 rather than the usual 7, we have 9 rather, and blanking plates, so it's capable of fitting an extended ATX motherboard, which is rather nice. So like the EVGA classified SR2 and the Gigabyte X58 UD9. And again there we can see that the drive caddies that we're talking about, the hot swappable caddies, that shows an image of them. And there you can fit a power supply, and it has a nice little cover here so to hide all the cables before they go into the back of the motherboard. And if you like to go to the next section, which is the unboxings. We've just quickly unboxed the CoolerMaster case, and as usual it's covered in roll cases. It's covered with a polyurethane bag to stop good dust getting into it, and we've got 2 great big massive cardboard polystyrene pieces here to protect it during the accidental damage by couriers. And we all know what couriers are like these days. They don't tend to treat it, especially computer parts. If they know it's a computer part, they tend to just sling it onto the van. But it's good to know that CoolerMaster, like almost every case there, has thought of this. And we take the polyurethane bag off. And present this how it should be. We'll start at the front. Now you can really see what I meant when it looks like something from Darth Vader's bathroom. Here we go again, we have the hot swappable bays, and if we like to just press these tabs, comes out rather nicely. As you can see, you just put your SSD or your HDD in there, and you just slide it in, and it connects to a circuit board inside. There you go, easy. You have 2 of them. The rest of them are just your normal bays. Big massive 200mm fan at the front there. You have your rather large display here for your external USB, eSATA, FireWire. Remember that FireWire is not really used these days, there's no need for it. More USB sockets, and your usual headphones and microphone. At the top you have your power on and off, reset and your LEDs, so you can actually switch on the LEDs if you want, or switch them off. It's up to you. And let's have a look what it's like on the rear of the case. Turn it round to the rear. And before we do this, we can see the window here. Again, nice covered with plastic just to make polyurethane, just to stop it from being scratched. And we've got a massive 200mm fan here, this on the side panel here. We'll come to removing that shortly. And we'll turn this around. We have a lovely 140mm fan at the back here. We have your tubing route in here for external water cooling. And as said in the diagram, we have 9 bays here for extended ATX. And don't miss out part 2 of this guide and to explore the internal workings of this case. This is Gilgamesh for part 2 of Overclockers Tech guide to the unboxing of the CoolerMaster HAF-X. Today we're going to point out in this part 2 guide the features internally. And if you'd like to move this side panel as explained in part 1, big 200mm fan here to nicely cool those graphics cards, nice little window here, and we'll open this up. We've got 2 thumb screws here, open these up from here. I'd like to just simply slide out the panel, comes out like with a nice meaty thunk. There's your big fan that we're talking about, the big 200mm fan. Would it be nicer for them to actually sleeve these wires instead and just leaving them bare like this? You know, CoolerMaster should be up on these sorts of things. You've got a lovely case here and it's got bare wires. That's just simply not an advantage really. However, on your side panel, this fan comes no LEDs, it's just the front fan here. But as you can see, you've got various slots here where you can put, if you can see it on the camera, you can put your own LEDs in there. So that's a good thing at least. Okay, moving on to the internal parts. Again, as you were mentioning earlier, a big 200mm red LED fan at the front. Remember earlier we were talking about those caddies? There we go again. Just simply slide out, under the lever, slide out, push it back in, nice meaty thunk. We have the toolless 5.25 bays, which is a good thing. So no screws needed here. Again, we're talking about the airflow here for the graphics cards. Personally, I don't see any use to this, but some people might want to use it. We have the bay cover for the pair shoe to hide all the wires. We have the big massive CPU inspection area. I don't think it really needs to be quite that big, because essentially there's no fan underneath there to provide underside motherboard cooling, and since your CPU socket is much smaller than that, I think that's a little bit of overkill, but it's nice to be there like all other cases. You have your wire management here for your top I/O panel. Again, we have a number of unbraided wires, so if you have to pick a fault with this case, this is it. We have at the top here, this top panel here. Again, you can be able to fit 120, 140 or 200mm fans here, so that's a good thing. This is actually, you can actually use the clips inside and actually, as you can see what I'm doing there, take this off and you can mount an XSPC or Thermature 360 360mm radiator at the top, so it's water cooling ready without a single case modification. And you've got a back fan, 140mm fan here for extraction. And if we turn the case over, we undo the rest of the panel, and we can actually have a good look at the wire management. We take this off again, it's just 2 simple thumb screws. Nice meaty thunk again. By the way, this case is not made. It's heavy because it's not made from aluminium. It's made from steel, unfortunately. And though it could be said, it's not as good as aluminium. But then again, steel is a bit more robust than aluminium. So there's swings and roundabouts. Put this to the side again. There we go. We get to see the wire management. There's one criticism I can point out straight away. You've got a very narrow window of opportunity here to put your 8-pin EPS connectors here for your CPU. Really, you should have decreased the size of this hole slightly and put another hole here. So that's one criticism we can say about the wire management. And otherwise, again, for some reason they've put grommets here for your wire management, but not here. You know, this is very strange. However, you know, all in all, it's pretty good wire management, and I suppose with a little bit of jiggery pokery, you can actually get your 8-pin EPS connectors up there, but it's not really suitable. So, but that's up to you, and that's up to the user subject to buying this case. And this is basically an overview. And if we go back inside the case again, back around to this side, and if we can look at this, move this to the side, we can see the circuit board for the hot swappable. So essentially you just put a Molex connector into there, 2 SATA leads into there, and you've got connectors to this which you just simply pop in. This is Gilgamesh for Overclockers Tech signing off for the CoolerMaster HAF-X case.